Hello, I'm Toycat and welcome back to the second channel video. Did you know that Haiti just appointed a brand new prime minister in the wake of their president's assassination? This was literally yesterday, and in case you're thinking, wait, assassinations, they're the thing that happened way back in the past. No way that's a 21st century thing. No, actually, it does turn out that the Haiti president did die on July the 7th, or rather, died is too weak of a word. The Haiti president was assassinated in his home by armed men on July the 7th. A real-world leader with actual power of a modern country was deposed via murder means, and that happened in the modern age. But this immediately gets me thinking not only about, wait a minute, so their president died, so they appointed a new prime minister, and Haiti is one of those countries where they do have two separate roles. A lot of people use president and prime minister interchangeably because a lot of countries have their most powerful figure being a prime minister, some have a president, but actually they're two separate roles in a lot of countries like France or indeed Haiti. But speaking of, like assassinations and presidents and all that stuff, my immediate jump was like, so how many British prime ministers have died? And as it turns out, only one British prime minister in the whole history of our parliamentary system has been assassinated, and that was in 1812. And in fact, even if you look at MPs, so again, the equivalent of House members, like our legislative branch, we have about 600 at a given point in time. Of those 600 at a point in time over that entire history, only 6 have been murdered. It's pretty good. And so one of them is Joe Cox. If you know British politics, you're familiar with this. It was during the EU referendum. It was due to things actually kind of unrelated to the EU referendum, which is what makes it so strange and bizarre. Or maybe it's not unrelated, you could say, if you were trying to make an interesting thing there. But yeah, it was very sad. She was like, she was one of the good MPs, it's generally said. Although we say that because she's dead, you know? No one's going to be like, yeah, she was a bad MP, didn't like her much, glad she's dead. Like, I looked into Ian Goh, the second most recently murdered MP, and he was generally not liked by many people, as it turns out. But it's like, yeah, well, we're not going to say that, are we? We're not going to go wring him through the mud now he's dead, because him and every other MP to die between, like 1882 and 1990, over 100 years, the only MPs that died for one reason: Irish republicanism. I've made some jokes here and there on the channel about, like, you know what, most of the British government's policy is just like, please stop bombing random civilians in the UK, Ireland. That's been like the attitude towards current situation there. And yeah, it's not just random civilians, it's also actual members of parliament. As you can see, this guy was killed by a car bomb. Actually, wait, can we go back to his article? I just found this horrifying and I'm sharing it with the internet. But if you look into his death, right, because unlike most MPs, he decided not to hide his address and his telephone number. He put it out there so his constituents could contact him. So he also didn't check for bombs that day. You know, what an idiot, not even checking for car bombs before driving to work. And so he had a bomb planted underneath him. First of all, kind of annoying that, like, yeah, one of the guys who was like trying to champion openness, they targeted him because he was so open. But then second of all, the bomb detonated at 8:39 as he reversed out of his driveway, leaving him with some weird wounds to his lower body. He died 10 minutes later. He got blown up and he died 10 minutes after. Can you imagine those 10 minutes? Can you imagine, it's a whole thing. And yeah, so it's okay though, because he's a personal associate of the British Prime Minister, and therefore it's okay to car bomb people, is the logic for some people on the internet. And even me saying that, there is going to be someone in the comments being like, oh, actually, you're forgetting about the atrocities in Ireland. Oh, it's okay then, is it? Thank you. Let's do more. Let's do more car bombing. Let's shoot people at constituent surgery. Anyway, this is going very off track, isn't it? I think I'm going on a we shouldn't kill people rant, which is somehow controversial in some spheres. But interestingly enough, as you can see, there was one prime minister that died. He did not die to the Irish Republican movement, but instead he died because of personal debt. And I looked into this, and I can't help but find this, like, funny. Is it, it's been 200 years, we can laugh at this, right? So the reason he died, it's not like some grand policy charge like you might know in the United States or so on and so forth. No, it was, the guy, it turns out the guy was very mad about a trading debt, and he was like, oh, this is the British Prime Minister's fault. And so he shot the British Prime Minister, being like, yeah, my personal debts are your fault. I'm very mad that I am in debt. And there's like some truth, obviously, that like any action you take is whatever, but it's dumb. Every MP that's died in the UK has been for dumb reasons. I think that goes without saying, does it not? Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe that's a controversial take. Instead, though, I always wanted to talk about, like, I say that 6 MPs dying is a really low number because I always think about the presidents of the United States of America, where there have been there's 45 presidents. Or I think the current president is number 45, right? Or number 46, which means there's actually been 45 presidents. And so 45 presidents, there have been 4 that have been assassinated. Mr. Lincoln, you know about that one. Mr. Garfield, you don't know about that one. But I think they hated his stance on Mondays. I think the assassin was really, like anti-lasagna, pro-Monday. And he was very disappointed about what was going on there. We've also got William McKinley and we've got JFK. 4 presidents in the span of like 100 years too. But that means there is a 1 in 11 fatality rate for being the United States president, which is pretty wild if you ask me. But it's not just the United States where presidents die, because here is a fun list of assassinated and executed heads of state and government. As you can see, that ever since Rimush in the Akkadian Empire in 2270 BC, we have killed our leaders because killing them is an easy... like when one person has power, you kill them, there goes the power, right? There's actually a big truth to this. This is why, kings tried to have, clear successors, kind of protect themselves and their legacy. And anyways, it's really interesting because it looks like we've just been doing it forever. And it's really interesting when you look at these old empires where it's like, okay, so in the Achaemenian Persian Empire or whatever, there was an assassination in 424 BC, and then in 423 BC, and then in 336 BC, and it's like, also, it looks like this king is called Arses. Am I allowed to laugh at that, or am I being immature? Anyway, so if you look down this list, you can see it's interesting because about halfway down the list, you end up in the 1900s, and there are so many assassinations. Man, being a head of state is a dangerous job. And it's interesting because if you look down here at the bottom, you can actually see not only statistics on when people died. October, good day to be assassinated. August, I'm dealing with the summer. Or more interestingly, we have, as you can see right here, a peak of assassinations in the 1970s that has mostly gone down in the 2010s. And you might be saying wait, people died in the 2010s? Yes, Mohammed, I always think he's Mohammed, I'm dumb. Can't say his name. Gaddafi, our good friend of Libya, was assassinated. Also, Idris, the Chad president, not so much about Chad now, am I right? And then what's that? We have, that was 420 of 2021, that's crazy. But as you can see, 2 presidents in the current year already. We are shaping up for more assassinations in the 2020s than in 2010s as their entirety. Which is pretty crazy when you think about it, because there aren't that many assassinations now. It turns out that killing the leader is not the best way to affect your movement. Also, I know that this is probably line of succession, but it looks like they had a really violent day of killing presidents of both the president of Rwanda and Burundi both died, and then also that is insane actually. Rwanda going through some things I hear. Speaking of things, when you look up and down this list, I see lots of really interesting countries. I think the 1930s are where I get really interested in there, right? Because you're like, oh, did anything happen, maybe over here? Nope, nothing too much going on here. But then you look along and you can see oh, yeah, President of Ireland. It's interesting. The Irish Republicans actually killed the Irish Prime Minister as well for the exact same thing, or the Irish chairman of the provincial government, I should say. Forgive me. But what's also interesting looking down this list is seeing oh yeah, the President of the Republic of China was killed in 1928. And a cool thing about these Wikipedia lists is they'll use the flag of the country at the time. And for most countries, this looks the same. Here's Romania's flag from 1939. Here's Romania's flag now. Can you spot the difference? You probably can't. Austria's flag looks very similar, just minus that funky little crest. And so, wait, I guess it does still have the funky little crest on the official flag. Anyway, long story... Oh, no, it is the first Austrian Republic. So as you can see, most countries look vaguely the same. However, China is a fascinating example. This was one of the flags of the Republic of China. And so I had to look into what other flags has China had, because this flag in my mind is so ubiquitous of China, I can't picture another flag that exists for them. And as it turns out, here's the flag of the Qing dynasty. I never know how to say the Qing dynasty. I'm gonna pronounce it phonetically. The Qing dynasty had a really funky flag, right? This is what I'm talking about. If China needs to, uncommunify itself, I mean, if it needs to, if it decides to, I should say, then as you can see, here is a good idea, right? Wow, would be cool if they had a dragon on the flag. Wow, there should be, if only there were other countries with dragons on the flag, foreshadowing parts of this video in the future. Here's the Beiyang government flag. Here's the Wuhan army flag. which sounds like a COVID joke, doesn't it, really? And here's the flag of Taiwan, which was not the flag of Taiwan. It was the flag of China until it was obviously usurped, I guess. And in fact, if you look through the flags of Taiwan, you can see this proposal. This would have been such a cool flag for China, right? I would immediately, even if China did nothing new, they just had this as their flag, I'd be like, you know what? I respect China 15% more now. I'm just saying, it's a cool flag, right? It's objectively a cool flag. And then, yeah, long story short, here's one of the original designs for the flag. Here's the flag design that Mao favored. And as you can see, ooh, look at this. They started adding more stripes to try and get it going. But then, and then we added the Shetland Islands flag, it looks like. And then eventually, after a lot of proposals by a lot of people, here we go. The flag of China that you know and you know. Here's the flag of China that you know. Is the better way to end that sentence, I guess. So anyway, before we go here, I also need to talk about, because flags are interesting. The only flags with dragons on them. Do you want a list of those? I guess you do. Let's look at the flag of Wales. You better believe they have a dragon on there. I used to feel bad because in school, in school they taught us how to make flags, right? This is, I think, a universal experience in the Western world. But they taught us how to make flags, and the England flag is like, it's a cross. Whereas Wales, they have to learn how to draw a dragon at 5 years old. Like, I don't know if I could do that, honestly. I don't know if I could. Anyway, so while we're talking about flags, let's get factual again. Here is the reason the United Kingdom flag is the way it is. The United Kingdom is a lot of former independent countries that came together. And so here is St. George's Cross, the English flag. Here is St. Andrew's Cross, the Scottish flag. And here, and once Great Britain merged with Ireland, they made this the Union flag, which has remained even to this day. And it's interesting because a lot of people ask the question of like, well, if the blue in the Union Jack is Scotland, what happens if Scotland leaves the Union? And besides going yellow for some reason, apparently, according to this BBC article, as you can see, it's interesting because if you look into it, there's a lot of fun proposals. Like, I like this one. Replace the Scottish with the Welsh. Get a little bit green in there. I think this is like the only valid solution. You can see a lot of other weird solutions, like this one that makes the UK look like we're Belgium. Not okay. Also, it's like sideways France over there. No. No France, no Belgium. Not a fan of those. We've got this flag, which is just messy. We've got this flag. Good luck teaching children to draw that. We got this flag, not a big fan. This flag, which is, again, it just feels like a lazier version of the previous one. And so long story short, this also feels lazy. It's like, what if we just tile them in there? And it's like, no. What happens if Scotland leaves the United Kingdom, should it ever choose to, right? Oh, this is from 2013, not the recent days. But what should happen should Scotland leave the United Kingdom? Well, you might notice looking at this. This is actually St. Patrick's Cross. A lot of people misattribute it as being part of Northern Ireland. It's actually all of Ireland. That was the Irish cross. And so when Ireland left the Union, as they might have done. I mean, I don't know how they left. I think the way it works is you just assassinate a ton of people till you get your way. That's what I'm learning from this lesson. If you're not willing to kill a bunch of, innocent strangers, then do you really care about your cause? Should it ever really happen? No. That is the lesson I'm getting right here. And so, given that is the lesson, you might be then like, oh, so Ireland left, but you left the St. Patrick's Cross in there, and you could probably argue that Northern Ireland is like part of Ireland, and so we'll leave the thing in there regardless. I think in reality the Union flag wouldn't change, but if we're looking for ideas, I'm just saying, wouldn't it be cool if we kept this, but then maybe had like a dragon in the background or something? Or, maybe no dragon, but like, I think a Union Jack but with green instead of blue could be like a grand point about how we're going green to save the planet, because we totally are going green to save the planet, some would say. Speaking of things some would say, this is the United Kingdom if it was a New Zealand colony, I believe. And this is the worst attempt I've ever seen at anything. So with that said, I hope you'll enjoy this video. Try not to get assassinated on the way home. Do you have any beliefs that people disagree with? Make sure you don't spout them on the internet. Do you think that people shouldn't be killed for their beliefs? Do you think people should be killed for their beliefs? In which case, I agree with you. Please don't kill me. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy. Pro tip, did you know that it's really interesting actually. People have been enjoying these map videos, particularly recently. Was this even a map video? Wait, let's make it a map video. you want to see my map? This has been a map video now. Hope you all enjoyed it. But people have been enjoying these map videos. And it's interesting because if you look at the Patreon, I released one of my like highest ever production quality videos yesterday, and people actually liked it less than the unstructured let's talk over maps and flags and whatever video. And so yeah, if you like these terrible videos, support it on Patreon. It's not going to go to improve the quality of the videos. Don't you worry. It was exclusively for kebab and lobster roll money. I am leaving the United States now, by the way. So if you want more money for me to be able to be doing dumb things across the other side of the world, give me money. I will only spend it on things you disagree with. Don't you worry. Don't you worry at all. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye. Or not. I'm gonna wait for you to leave. I'm just gonna drink my Fiji water TM. It's not even Fiji water. I fill up at the tap. It's all a lie. This whole channel's a lie. The only thing that's not a lie is dragons. Goodbye.